Welcome back to part 3 of my Sweeney Todd analysis. Once again, a lot of this will not make sense unless you have watched part 1 and 2. They aren't long, so watch them. The links are in the description box below. In the first 2 videos we talked about the medieval hymn of death, the Dies Irae, as well as how it plays out in the opening ballad, as well as some other songs in the musical. We're going to take a break from the Dies Irae for now, but we'll definitely come back to it, as well as the opening number. I had huge difficulty trying to figure out what to do for my third video, not because I don't have anything to talk about, but because I have too much to talk about and I'm not sure how to organize everything. Like, should I continue by looking at other motifs, or should I continue by following a specific character? Or should I go chronologically following the musical from the beginning to the end while addressing everything that appears? I decided to do a little bit of all 3 options. I'll go chronologically and I'll address anything that comes up, but I'll skip a lot of other things with the intent of returning to them in future videos. Structurally, every video would seem to cover one song and then one relatable device that Sondheim uses to tell or convey the story. So we are introduced with the ballad, set several months after the events of the story, and Sweeney Todd's dead body is disposed of. Now we go into the past where we meet Anthony, a young sailor, and Sweeney Todd arriving back to London after an overseas getaway in Australia. I'm kidding, he's an ex-prisoner who's just escaped. In the music of the opening ballad, we had evil-sounding low, rumbly instruments, and even harsher other sounds. It was all frantic and deathy. This next song, we're introduced with a lovely warm brass fanfare. Brass fanfares are associated with royalty, hunting, and military. Anthony's a sailor, so that counts. He gets himself a fanfare. This little melodic fanfare motif will follow him throughout this musical. However, Sweeney is trailing with Anthony, so he gets the same fanfare as Anthony, but it's all ugly and dissonant, like his ballad. Unlike the ballad, which is held together with a lot of steps of major and minor seconds as parallel in the Dies Irae, this song, No Place Like London, starts off with steps of major and minor thirds, as well as a larger leap. And going on to the melody, unlike the ballad that had close-quartered accompaniment, this song has wide and spatial jumps in the accompaniment, furthering itself even more from the Dies Irae. We then get the Westminster quarters. You've all heard it before. It goes like this. We get this motif a lot in this musical to symbolize a journey in time. In this instance, we hear it because we just jumped several months into the past at the very start of the song. We also hear it in order to establish that we are in fact in London. This theme is a very British theme and sounds at the London's Big Ben as well as other places. I'll play the section once with the theme highlighted, then once normally. We hear it once more in the song on Anthony's line, I feel home again, I can hear the city bells, etc. And right before Anthony can finish his line, and right before the Westminster motif finishes, Sweeney interrupts.
I feel home again. I could hear the city bells ring, whatever they do. There's no place like
Anyways, this theme comes back a lot. Warning, spoilers ahead. We hear it at the beginning of Poor Thing when we're transported back several years as Mrs. Lovett tells the story of the happenings of Benjamin Barker.
Isn't that down there? That's my boy.
Isn't that room up there over the shop? If time's so hard, why don't you rent it out? That should bring in something.
Up there? Oh, no one will go near it. People think it's haunted. You see.
The next time we hear it is at the top of Act 2. At the end of Act 1 is when they decide they'll start baking humans into meat pies. The opening of Act 2, God That's Good, jumps several weeks into the future, and we can see that Mrs. Lovett's pie shop is flourishing. Also in this scene is when Sweeney receives his new executioning chair. We hear the Westminster theme at the start of the next song, the Joanna reprise. We jump into the future again. I don't know how far, but far enough that Sweeney is comfortably and casually slicing throats on his new chair on a daily basis, whilst singing about how beautiful his daughter is. The last time the Westminster theme appears inexplicably happens right after Anthony saves Joanna from the insane asylum and Sweeney and Mrs. Lovett are searching for Toby. My guess is that it is there to convey the fact that it has been some time since Mrs. Lovett and Todd has gone down to search for Toby, and they've been down there for quite a while. This is only a hunch though. Anyways, back to our current song, No Place Like London. From the first instrumental introduction before the voice even starts singing, we can deduce that things are great. But something is slightly askew. The next section is nice, and it seems to contrast the previous and deathy song. And oh, are those the Westminster chimes I hear at the top? Perhaps we are in London, and perhaps time has definitely gone by. I'm going to go quick and sloppy through the rest of the song. I promise I'll come back to it and revisit the ideas. Anyway, Sweeney starts singing and we get this very important theme that I briefly mentioned in the last video.
There's no place like London. Mr. Todd, sir.
He gives a cynical view of the world, and the beggar woman appears and starts begging for alms. Sweeney does his "the world sucks" thing.
There's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it, and its more's unworth what a pit could spit.
He brings back the whole "I too have sailed the world, beheld its wonders," but he ends it all askew-like because, you know.
But there's no place like London.
Yada yada yada, he sings about himself and his wife and how he got into the situation.
There was a barber and his wife, and she was beautiful.
Yada yada yada, we bring back this important theme again while Sweeney sings about how the world sucks.
There's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and it's filled with people who are filled with shit, and the vermin of the world inhabit
In the
it.
next video, it seems that I may need to address this very important theme. So I guess I'll do that before we continue our story. Stay tuned for part 4.